Do they not believe that Jesus is the Christ? He says, "You do not believe, because you are not my sheep. My sheep listen to my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. I give them everlasting life, and they will by no means ever be destroyed, and no one will snatch them out of my hand. What my Father has given me is something greater than all other things." Jesus then tells them how close his relationship with his Father is, saying, "I and the Father are one." John 10:26-30. Jesus is here on earth and his Father is in heaven, so he cannot mean that he and his Father are literally one. Rather, they are one in purpose, being united. Jesus' words so anger the Jews that they again pick up stones to kill him. This does not frighten Jesus. "I displayed to you many fine works from the Father," he says. "For which of those works are you stoning me?" They respond, "We are stoning you, not for a fine work, but for blasphemy. For you make yourself a god." John 10:31-33. Jesus never claimed to be a god, so why this accusation? Well, Jesus is saying that he has powers that the Jews believe belong to God alone. For example, regarding the sheep he said, "I give them everlasting life," which is something humans cannot do. John 10:28. The Jews are overlooking the fact that Jesus has openly admitted that he received authority from his Father. In refuting their false charge, Jesus asks, "Is it not written in your law at Psalm 82:6, I said, you are gods?" If he called gods those against whom the word of God came, do you say to me whom the Father sanctified and sent into the world, you blaspheme, because I said, I'm God's son? John 10:34-36. Yes, the scriptures call even unjust human judges gods. So how can these Jews fault Jesus for saying I am God's son? He points to something that should convince them. If I am not doing the works of my Father, do not believe me. But if I am doing them, even though you do one with the Father, but not God. John 10:22-42, 188. Not believe me, believe the works, so that you may come to know and may continue knowing that the Father is in union with me and I am in union with the Father. John 10:37-38. In response, the Jews try to seize Jesus, but he again escapes. He leaves Jerusalem and goes across the Jordan River to the area where John began baptizing nearly 4 years earlier. This apparently is not far from the southern end of the Sea of Galilee. Crowds come to Jesus and say, John did not perform a single sign, but all the things John said about this man were true. John 10:41. Thus, many Jews put faith in Jesus. I and the Father are one. Jesus refutes charge of being God. Why does Jesus call the people's attention to his works? How are Jesus and his Father one? How does Jesus' quotation from the Psalms disprove the Jews' charge that he is making himself a God or equal to God? 81, 189. Sect I and 5. Jesus' later ministry east of the Jordan. Many put faith in him. John 10:42. Jesus has been teaching and curing people in Judea and Jerusalem. Then he crosses the Jordan River to teach from city to city in the district of Perea. Soon, though, he will be back in Jerusalem. While Jesus is in Perea, a man asks, Lord, are those being saved few? The man may know of debates among the religious leaders over whether many will be saved or only a few. Jesus shifts the issue from how many will be saved to what must be done in order to be saved. Exert yourselves vigorously to get in through the narrow door, he says. Yes, effort, a struggle, is required. Why so? Jesus explains. Many, I tell you, will seek to get in but will not be able. Luke 13:23-24. To illustrate the need for vigorous effort, Jesus says, when the householder gets up and locks the door, you will stand outside knocking at the door, saying, Lord, open to us. But he will say to you, I do not know where you are from. Get away from me, all you workers of unrighteousness. Luke 13:25-27. This illustrates the plight of a person who comes late. apparently when it is convenient for him.